Hey there, gang, you know what time it is. We are entering the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Let's play some head games. Friends, opponents, residents of Ba Sing Se, there is no war in Ba Sing Se. Welcome to Head Games Arena. My name is Jetterex, and this week we are getting to play our first games in Avatar: The Last Airbender Standard, and we're going to start our exploration out with Earthbending, and by that, of course, I mean we are playing Golgari Earthbenders, built around a new infinite combo that I'm really excited to show you all. So, Beifong's Bounty Hunters is a 4-mana 4/4. Whenever a non-land creature you control dies, you Earthbend X. That means you turn a land into a creature and put X +1/+1 counters on it. When it dies or is put into exile, return it to the battlefield. That last line of text means that land is going to keep coming back, and what better thing to do with that than Bloodghast, which comes back from the graveyard whenever a land enters the battlefield. So Bloodghast plus a land plus a sack outlet like Umbral Collar Zealot creates an infinite loop with Beifong's Bounty Hunters. But Tim, how do you win with that? The answer is you basically just win with these deserts. Festering Gulch is a tap land that does a damage to opponent when it enters, so if this is one of the lands that you have, you just keep animating this land and you create a loop where you're doing 1 damage. Now the loop is tedious to play against, so people can be a little salty, and they may force you to play out the combo, which means you're going to be clicking stuff for a while if you play this deck. So I found very quickly that I didn't really want to do that, but I really wanted to show you all this deck and show you just how powerful it can be and how it really can win the game very, very quickly. But I do think that the meta is going to respond to this deck, and it's going to be an unfortunately bad choice really quick, as you'll see in some of the games today. So to make the combo work, we want to get a bunch of cards into our graveyard so we can hit our Bloodghast into the graveyard and reanimate them with lands. So we're playing 2 copies of Scavenger's Talent, which serves as a way to mill our cards, but also as a way to reanimate stuff later on if we get it fully pumped up. We're also playing 3 copies of Dredger's Insight, 3 copies of Town Greeter, and 2 copies of Overlord of the Baelmerk. You may think to yourself that's not an enormous amount of mill package to play in the deck, and part of that is we're trying to get to the combo, but we are also trying to survive in the meta, and we're trying to get to the combo as fast as possible. So there are acceleration pieces, mill pieces, and combo pieces. Acceleration pieces, 4 copies of Llanowar Elves, and then 4 copies of Badgermole Cub. If you saw that this card was coming out, you probably thought to yourself, wow, that seems really good, and I'm here to report that it is in fact really great. Especially in this deck where you're already earthbending other lands, you can get to a really explosive amount of mana very, very quickly, which allows you to get the combo win fast in an environment where you might not otherwise be able to. To stay alive in the meta, we're playing 2 copies of Duress, 2 copies of Tragic Trajectory, and 2 copies of Maelstrom Pulse. We're also highlighting 2 Foggy Swamp Visions. This is a new card from Avatar. It as an additional cost, you Waterbend X, and then you exile X target creatures from your graveyard. You make token copies that die at the end step. So if you've got your combo pieces in your graveyard, Foggy Swamp Visions can reanimate all of them at the same time to get you the combo win on that turn. Finally, 2 copies of Sephiroth Fabled Soldier to be a sort of aristocrat effect that's doing damage when the creatures die. This will drain your opponent out faster than making them sit through the land loop. So that's the deck. It's actually very straightforward, very easy to make mistakes with, but also quite powerful. So before we head over into the gameplay, I'd like to invite everybody to please like, subscribe, leave some comments down below. Let us know what you'd like to see us play in Avatar Standard. How excited are you about this set? I am just over the moon. What a great set. So excited to play it. So thank you as always for watching. Let's play some head games. Game 1 with Golgari Infinite with our Earthbending ragtag bunch here. We've got the combo in our hand, but only 1 land. Big risky keep here. If we drew a couple of lands, we could make this hand work, but I think we're just going to have to say no to this. Okay. Slightly better, 2 lands, Dredger's Insight, Town Greeter. Foggy Swamp Visions is a very interesting and sneaky tech. We can keep this. So I don't think we need both Dredger's Insight and Town Greeter. Hard to say which one's better in this situation. I think I'm going to tuck Dredger's Insight because I like having a blocker a little bit more than I like having the enchantment that gains its life. The life gain's not insignificant, but We'll see. Snarling Gorehound for our opponent. Looks like they are on a... You know, they dump things into their graveyard plan. They may even be playing something similar to what we are doing. So we'll just start with a tap land. Festering Gulch does 1. This is the sneaky tech of this deck, is the deserts. Vengeful Blood Witch for our opponent. Does that proc on our creatures? No, it does not. Okay, that's going to be relevant. We'll go Blooming Marsh into Town Greeter. Looks like we're taking Mortuary, because we don't really need another Festering Gulch. Once you've got one, you're fine. What else did we hit? A Badgermole and an Elf doesn't really do a lot. Vengeful Blood Witch for our opponent. They get to Surveil again. So they're not doing anything particularly new or interesting. They are just up here trying to get up the ladder with Orzhov Aristocrats. We'll take our 1 damage. That's enough for us. Okay. We've got some choices here. This is interesting. So we really want to put more stuff in the bin, and we don't have anything to do that right now. I'm actually kind of regretting that I didn't tuck the Foggy Swamp and keep both of the things that do that. I think that would have been better. So I can play Umbral Collar Zealot and destroy something. I'm not sure that matters. I think I'm actually gonna use this Duress and see what's going on. Okay, so they did have Erase the Past, so that's going to slow them down a little bit. From there, we will play an untapped land and get Umbral Collar Zealot down. And we can say go from there. Okay, last card for our opponent is Nesting Bot. Do they get in? Yep. Okay. So we can actually double block the Gorehound. And then sacrifice the Town Greeter before it does damage, so we get the Surveil out of it. We do not need another Zealot. Okay. 2 more damage for us from the Vengeful Blood Witches. Alright. Mortuary. We do not need another land. So all we need to do is get to... All we need to do is get to a Bloodghast. I'm actually tempted. I guess I can wait to Foggy Swamp Visions. I'm probably overthinking this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to Tragic Trajectory one of the Blood Witches, take 2 more damage. And we're just going to say go. So next turn we have a 2-point Foggy Swamp Vision. Or we can just cast the Bounty Hunters. So I think we do block, right? We take the same amount of damage and their Nesting Bot dies. Our opponent's not in a great position, but they do have us down to 11. Very tempting. So what happens if they top deck Raise the Past? They get 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures back. I think that I play Overlord Impended here. That'll do it. So yeah, Bloodghast just comes back the moment I get a land in play, so I can play anything here. The question is what... I think I get a Town Greeter, actually. 4 more things. We will get a land back. We will play that land for turn, get the Bloodghast back, although we don't really need to do that. And we will say no attacks. Okay. So our opponent needs a Sack Outlet and a Raise the Past. Okay, they get in with everybody. So does that mean they have a Raise the Past? I don't think it matters because they don't have a sack outlet. So we can block the nesting bot and the blood witch here. Yeah. We'll take 3. Raise the past. Okay. Look at all those triggers. Curious farm animals. What an interesting addition. I love. So look, they're playing with new cards, y'all. Okay, so we've got it, but we get to see how long our opponent is going to allow us to do the thing. Actually, no. We need to leave Bloodghast alive. Okay, we'll go to our turn. We will play Beifong's Bounty Hunters, and we will start the loop. So you sacrifice Bloodghast. Put the Gowners on the Gulch. We don't need to do anything with the Surveil. We will sacrifice the Gulch. It comes back and brings the Bloodghast back. That's the loop. Now we get to see how long our opponent wants to let us do it. This is where this gets really tedious, and playing a deck with an infinite loop like this can be really, really fussy. Because it really, if your opponent wants to make you play it out, you have to actually play it out. And a bad misclick could actually cause you to screw up the loop. So that's really what your opponent is banking on at this point. I do wish we were able to do it a little bit faster, but there's just nothing for it. Alright, our opponent's at 20, so I'm going to speed through this if they make me do the whole thing. Wow, they made me do the whole thing! Wow, took forever. Alright, y'all, on to game 2. Golgari Infinite, Golgari Earthbenders. This is fine. I think we can just say we're going to keep 7 here. So this is not, we don't have everything that we need, but we do get to go Forest into Llanowar, which gives us, if we have an untapped land, it actually gives us 4 mana on turn 2. If we don't, we still get to get the Badgermole down and kind of at least get moving. Okay, not my favorite turn. So we'll play Festering Gulch, do a damage to our opponent, and play Badgermole. And we'll put that on our friend the Gulch here. So now we've got an aggro start. Now we can see how this deck can shift gears a little bit and move in a different direction. Our opponent's going to go a little slow. So we will Festering Gulch again. And I'm very tempted to get the Bounty Hunters down here just because they are such a powerhouse. And then we'll swing with the Badgermole, because now we've got like a real threat on board. Okay. Let's play Scavenger's Talent. Our opponent's going to respond with something. What in the world is that? Counter target spell and tap 1 or 2 creatures. What in the world? We'll get Umbral Collar Zealot down and swing for 1. We are 1 piece away from having the combo already. If we just snuck into a board wipe, we're in a lot of trouble. Please don't have a board wipe. You're gonna make me very sad if you do. Okay. No reason not to just drop the land. It does look like we've only got 3, but that is not in fact the case. So I think we bring it with everybody but maybe the elf. Maybe we hold back the Gulch. This may seem a little strange, but I think this is right. Opponents at 4. What are they holding on to? Okay, Meringue River Regent draws them some cards. What could they be up to here? I mean, they're looking for a board wipe, I'm fairly sure. So the good news is, I think that I can potentially kill them on the spot if they try to board wipe. That is enough. It might not be clear there, so I want to illustrate this. Okay, got the win. Let's go back to the battlefield. So, because I have the Bounty Hunter in play and I have the Umbral Collar Zealot, I can sacrifice any of these other creatures to make both of my Gulches and then sacrifice the Gulches to get them back. So I have more than 4 creatures in play. So I'm pretty sure I can sack the Llanowar Elf to put a counter on the Gulch, sacrifice both of the Gulches, get 2 damage in, and then let the board wipe resolve. And it's close. It's close. Apparently they didn't have it. On to game 3 with Golgari Infinite, Golgari Earthbenders. We're currently 2-0. We got very lucky. This is not an awful start. I mean, I have to play Llanowar on 1. It's my only play, but I can dig for another land with Town Greeter. We have both of our early game interactions. As far as a 2-land hand goes, there's Appa. I really want this. I really want this. All right, we'll start with a Verge and play Llanowar Elf. Kind of in a similar situation here. If we draw an untapped land, we're like really off to the races. Okay, I don't hate that. Let's play. Yeah, let's get Badgermole down. This draws a counterspell, I'm fairly sure. It doesn't. They don't have one. Okay. Alright, we get to see what our opponent is doing after we select. I think we just do the forest here. And then we will play Town Greeter. Not a great hit, but not a bad one either. Alright, what's our opponent doing? Serpent of the Pass. Oh, okay. So this is the new. If you have a bunch of spells in your graveyard, you can play this. You can flash this in. They can't do that yet, right? Okay. We have an enormous amount of mana, but we don't have. Okay, so we play Duress. And it's definitely ill-timed Explosion. We will play Underground Mortuary. We do not need another Badgermole Cubs. Feels very strange to say that. So I think I've got to get the damage in, right? Two spells in graveyard. Firebending Lesson takes out the Badgermole. So they've got enough to play. Do they? 1, 2, 3 spells. They are one short of playing the Tolarian guy, of playing the Tolarian Terror. Do I have enough to full cast this? I don't anymore because the Badgermole Cub's done. Okay, so we just impend this? Not like that, we don't. So we impend this. We get the Umbral Collar Zealot. We'll play the Umbral Collar Zealot. It just draws a removal spell, I'm fairly sure, but that's okay. We'll get in. Alright, we are going to sacrifice the forest to get our surveil on before we lose the Zealot. We do not need another land. Do I want to keep going? No. I want the blockers, I think. Because their whole game plan is about getting these big beaters out. You have a counter now? That's okay. Yep, there it is. Okay. We can be patient. I actually think that we can. Surprisingly, they did not get off to as fast as a start as they might have liked, so okay, here's your Tolarian Terror. Looking pretty scary. Do you have one more counter spell? No, but you have a removal spell. Good for you. Okay. That's it. What was that? Combustion technique 2 plus the number of lessons. Very strong. We're going to take it this time. Okay. All right. So the trouble that we have here is that we don't have Bloodghast in the graveyard. So I think we actually have to play Bloodghast here, hope that it survives, and we're going to attack. We're not really interested in blocking your 5/5. Okay. So, is your last card. Alright, let's get the Festering Gulch down. Here's the thing. Alright, I just need 2, right? All I need is a Beifong and an Umbral Collar Zealot. So, X is going to be 2. Foggy Swamp Visions for 2. How do we feel about that? They feel like scooping! Oh, the Swamp Visions got there! Gang, we are on to game 4. Currently 3-0. Really surprised by that. Happily surprised, but really surprised. Our opponent is very much at the top of Diamond, while we are very much at the bottom. I think this is a keepable hand. I wish I had a black on one to cast Duress, but I still think that it's keepable. Maybe we'll draw a Blooming Marsh. A Swamp will suffice. I very much want to cast Duress on turn 1, just so I have something to do. So, it's probably Unholy Annex here. We're going to run into trouble, I think, with Unstoppable Slasher, but let's just get that out of the way. Okay. Green And Town Greeter. Looking for Umbral Collar Zealot. Blooming Marsh for us. Unstoppable Slasher for our opponent. Yep. Okay, so we get to play Blooming Marsh, play Badgermole Cub, and we are going to go ahead and cast the Overlord, put some more cards in our bin, looking for a Bloodghast. Okay, so we have Beifong in hand. Yeah, so we can take Umbral Collar Zealot here. No attacks. This is where it's pretty impressive. Like, I've had plenty of runs with the deck where it felt like everything was going wrong. So, pretty remarkable here that we are actually staring down the opportunity to maybe win next turn. Because if we survive the turn... Okay, second Unstoppable Slasher means we win. It does. Yeah, they don't have a removal spell. They are just straight up dead. At least I think so. So, let's do some math here. If I play a land, we can Foggy Swamp for 3, and we only need to Foggy Swamp for 2. Right? So I can block here is what I'm saying. Oh, and Badgermole Cub makes Blooming Marsh give me more land, or give me more mana. So yes, I'm 100% there. Wastewood Verge gets the Bloodghast back. We get the Bounty Hunters and the Zealot. We'll just pay the mana for it. Okay, here we go. Oh, I don't have a... Oh, wow, I really messed up. I just realized I don't have a damage dealer. Oh, I did it wrong. Oh, that feels very bad. Very bad. Oh boy. That was a huge mistake on my part. I didn't realize that I didn't have the a damage land in play. I was one part of the combination short, and now our opponent has the open window to take us out. Badgermole Cub? Yeah, you got it. What else we got? You have another removal spell? Time color. Okay. It's a lot of damage. That's interesting. Okay. Yep. Whew. Okay. We will play a Wastewood Verge. We will get our Bloodghast back. We're going to Maelstrom Pulse your Unstoppable Slashers. Okay, so they can color again next turn. Okay, I'm going to get in. Yeah, I'm not exactly threatening lethal here, but... Okay. Ritual Chamber is a good choice. Oh, I keep forgetting about that. I keep forgetting that I have more lands and that Blooming Marsh is not what I want to cast right now. Oh, wow. because that demon is going to gain them 7 life. Well, they have to draw a black for that. Okay. Oh, I'm just dead. I'm very much dead. Yeah, you got it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Boy, did I mess that up. Big time. All they have to do is activate their Unholy Annex. That's all they have to do. Activate Unholy Annex, attack me with the demon. Boy, that is... Oh, you do... Yeah. Okay. I didn't see that they had a 3rd black there. That's why I was confused. Yep. They got it. We are on to game 5, currently 3-1 after I definitely went too hard in that last game and ended up making a pretty... I mean, it's not like I made a play that... I did. I spent all my resources doing something that was completely meaningless, and if I had been a little bit more careful, I probably could have snuck out a win there. So let's pay attention to that and make sure we actually have the win on board. This is a keepable hand, by the way. So let's see what our opponent is up to. I like it because it's got all of my early interaction. I have all the 1-drops to do all the things that are interesting. Meticulous Archive means it could be control, it could be artifacts. Looks like control, which is very bad for us. So I think we're going to get Scavenger's Talent down first. What kind of control are you? Are you the 4-color control? Are you just Azorius control? Are you going to play really slowly? Rest in peace. Okay. So I have to deal with that, which makes me wish that I had duressed them on turn 1. So, okay. So, Mortuary Mire, we'll leave that on top, and we will duress them. Instant sorcery triggered ability. Okay. So we'll take the counter. We'll activate Scavenger's Talent and say go. Rest in Peace hoses us. There's no question. Like, I have to draw the answer to that or I can't play this game. Like, there's a part of me that's like, we really just scoop at this point, but... This is going to be the most boring game all day long. And problem is they have counter magic up for it. So I'm like really boned at this point. Like, I have to be able to deal with Rest in Peace, and they've got the counter spell to deal with it. Okay, Scavenger Talent ready to go. Card draw spell. Okay. Good job, Control. You've made us want to quit. Good game. Yeah, we are on to game 6, currently 3-2. What did we learn in our last game? We learned that you should duress on turn 1 whenever you can. Because if we had got that Rest in Peace out of their hand, we have a chance in that game. So, first turn Elf, second turn Cub. Decent start. Assuming we don't lose the Elf to some unfortunate accident. blue for our opponent, and a Spyglass Siren. Untap land is very good. We will play a swamp. So I think we Llanowar Elf for the mana for Badger. Badger makes Wastewood Verge a creature. Wastewood Verge casts Town Greeter. Yes. Not great. Alright, we'll take the Festering Gulch because, oh, we already had one. That was not correct. Double blue for our opponent. We've got a much scarier board than them. Then the question is, are they going to... oh, they got a land. Double Spyglass Siren. Are you going to attack? Yeah. I'm going to argue that I think that's perhaps a mistake. Okay, we have 5 mana. What's the best thing for us to do with 5 mana at this point? It's probably get Beifong's Bounty Hunters down. Yeah, let's do this first. Play Festering Gulch. Attack with the Badgermole. You can, I mean, you can block it with the Siren. It just doesn't feel real good, Mr. Bubbles. Which sounds like the name of a cat, by the way. It looks like our opponent has had a pretty bad run here. It's, I mean, there's a land. They'll attack for 2. So, we don't have a Bloodghast, right? So, let's play Festering Gulch. Flood Pit Drowner is going to hit the Bounty Hunter. You got it. We're going to resolve Umbral Crawler Zealot. Do we want to play more than one? Yeah, I think I'm gonna. The reason that I'm going to get in with everybody is I'm offering the trade here with Badgermole, which actually seems like a good idea, but I promise it's not. Yeah, you actually don't want to take that trade. You really want to get rid of Beifong's Bounty Hunter next turn. Okay. Alright, they're at 12. We're at a decent spot here. Yep. Okay. This is where I'm like, do you have Tidebinder? Well, because Tidebinder would be pretty bananas right now. Alright, so we sack the Gulch. It does the damage. We get to Surveil. We do not need lands. Then we keep going. We sacrifice the Town Greeter. It puts a counter on the Gulch. We do not need a Llanowar Elf. See, we don't even have the combo. This is just a very, very crafty... the very crafty Aristocrats trigger, or, you know, loop. Okay, no land. We actually don't need mana right now. That's what I want. Okay, so this is it. We are going to choose our surveils here because they are holding up something. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to continue to do this. You've got to respond, friend. Oh, I actually 100% didn't mean to keep that on top. I'm not sure what I'm trying to keep on top here. Anyway, I'm going to start talking because they seems like they're going to make me play through it, and I might have to speed this section up. Nope, they decided we're done. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Whew. This is it, friends. Game 7, 4, and 2. So we've got our winning record. Let's see if we can bring it home with one final good showing here. So we don't have Badgermole, so we don't have that explosive start. I must admit, I thought about taking that card out a bunch of times, but it really allows you to speed into the combo. We are on the draw with no interaction. Is that good enough? We have 2 of the combo pieces. I think I'm going to try it. I don't think it's bad enough to put away. We do have Llanowar Elf on 1. Okay, starting town for our opponent. There's a 3rd piece of our combo. Llanowar Elf, no removal? Okay. White for our opponent. Cryogen Relic. Okay, so this is artifacts. So the thing about the artifacts deck is it can take out all of my board of like cheap creatures, so I need to pay attention to that. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to play Dredger's Insight. And we're going to look for a land. And we did not get it, so we'll get the Bounty Hunter. Probably should have Mortuary Mired first. We will toss a Bloodghast. That's not bad. We do need to draw another land. Untap land gives us Dredger's Insight. Oh, man. Rest in peace in the main board? Oh, my God. Yeah, we're not going to play that out, friends. That's enough for us. All right, friends and opponents, how did we do today? We ended up with a 4-3 record. If you watched all the way till the end and you're sitting here right now, thank you very much. You are amazing and I love you. You noticed in that last game there that after I saw the Rest in Peace come into play, it is such an uphill battle to fight against that at that point, which really highlights the weakness of this deck. That Authority of the Consoles, Rest in Peace, there are several just stacks pieces that hose this deck specifically, and if you don't have ways to deal with them, you are going to suffer in the long run and really have a hard time actually closing out the game. So as remembering that makes me think that this deck really ought to be playing with more spot removal that can specifically deal with those enchantments, because they're just going to shut you down. In 2 games out of the 7 I played on video today, Rest in Peace literally beat us, that one card. So if we can't deal with that one card, this deck isn't very good. So we need to figure out a better way than Maelstrom Pulse to deal with those things. I don't know what it is. There's lots of options in Standard. What's the best one that can deal with an enchantment and deal with an enchantment and hopefully deal with it permanently? We'll have to see if there's something that really fits into this. There's lots of different directions that you could take this deck. You could add a 3rd color. You could add blue. You could add white to get more sacrifice outlets. You could add blue to get more mill. There's just so many different ways that you could go with this deck. I'm glad that we got this deck out of the way, because I'm just going to be honest with y'all, I don't really intend to keep playing it because it is very fussy to play. It doesn't really feel like it's going to be competitive, but I wanted to showcase the first infinite combo that really got traction because they are an enormous amount of fun. I will say that both Foggy Swamp Visions and Badgermole Cub have already proven themselves to be very, very good cards, and we're going to see them in other decks, I'm sure of it. So that is all for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I appreciate your time and attention. So thanks for watching, and remember, take care of your head. Hey gang, thanks so much for tuning in. Click that subscribe button to support the channel, and check out our last Commander game, including everybody's favorite monster, Fleam.